Hi everybody, Andrew Cuneo here. I'm going to be playing in the Arena Qualifier weekend, which is Phyrexia sealed. I used to really dislike sealed deck. I've actually come to like it more, but it's with the caveat that I tend to like it when you don't wind up having to play the same deck for a million rounds. And unfortunately today, I think it's like you need to win 7 matches maybe. So this is definitely going to be a hope you get a good deck because you're going to be living with it for a long time kind of situation. Some okay cards in white. Ossification obviously stands out. Indoctrination Attendants also it's just a generally good card. Flensing Raptor. I've never said the first word of that before. Can be a decent card. Certainly if you wind up in a kind of a dedicated toxic deck, it's quite good. Not a ton of depth in white, though. What are we looking at in blue? A couple Prologue to Phyrexia and Experimental Augury, Thrumming Bird. So there is some potential for a proliferate kind of strategy. 3 Eye of Malcators. I think I don't like that. This card, it can be good, but it's a very all-in card in a way I don't really like. There's also 2 Immobilizers. I'm a big fan of the Immobilizer. Mesmerizing Dose is quite good. And an Unctus. So I've got a fair amount of kind of artifact matters kind of stuff, including Meldweb Strider, which is not something I'm too excited about. In black, we've got a couple cheap toxic creatures, some Whisper of the Dross, Edict, this Geth card, which is terrible. When you read this card, you're like, okay, this doesn't seem good, but maybe there's a reason that they made a rare like this. And then when you see it played, it's just awful. Really not a very good card. Red, we've got a Barbatterfist, some Volt Charges. Koth. Koth is pretty strong, but you want to be a heavy red deck for it. And I don't know that my pool allows for that. What do we got in green? We've got Incubation Sac and a Contagious Vorak. Both of those are pretty nice. My gold cards, I've got a Venser, which Venser is certainly good. It's kind of, in draft at least, it's in a kind of weak strategy, but it's a pretty good card. And a Serum Core Chimera. I've got some Dune Movers and Terramorphic Expanse for fixing. Filigree Silex can be a very good card depending on the deck. I'm not seeing any clear direction that jumps out at me. So how many red cards do I have if I wanted to try to play Koth? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I like Hazardous Blast a lot in draft. It's probably substantially worse in sealed. I still might play 1. So 6, 7, 8. 9 if I'm red-blue, and then I do have some artifacts that I can play. It's going to be kind of hard getting to an actual heavy red deck. How much oil stuff do I have to go with the Silex? A lot of the power in the Silex comes in into being able to proliferate and get to the point where you can deal the 10 damage, potentially. Green doesn't even really have that much oil stuff. Red doesn't have that much oil stuff either. Like, I guess green has some cultivators, but red doesn't have any of the scamp that just tends to build up a lot of oil counters on it as the game progresses. Black does not have very good removal. I have only the Edict as a card that could potentially kill a large creature, and it's not going to do that reliably. I feel like I should be a base blue deck. How many artifacts can I get to if I want to try to play Eye of Malkators? Well, we're going to start with 3 Eye of Malkators. So 3 would be the floor. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I don't remember what are the... I don't think I counted that yet. 10, 11, 12. These make artifacts too, 13, 14. So I can actually be a pretty dedicated artifact deck. And then I know that there's some artifacts I would play here. Certainly the Skitterfang in an artifact deck. Probably at least one of the Dune Movers. Filigree Silex is going to be... a little rough. Again, I'm not going to have that many oil cards, so I'm not going to be... I guess I'm going to have these immobilizers, but they tend to go down in oil, not up. I still think that maybe blue artifact-based deck, sadly, is where I'm going to wind up. I guess we would play... that stuff. We're at 12 artifacts right now. I'd like to be a little bit higher. Are there any black or red artifacts I'd really like to splash? Batterfist and Shrapnel Slinger are both fine cards. I don't know that they're splashable or desirable to splash. Serum Core Chimera. I do have a reasonable amount of Proliferate, which is always good with that guy. This is another artifact I'll definitely play. Would I play Rib Skiff? I never know how to feel about this card. I can definitely play at least the first Dune Mover. This really does not seem like a very powerful deck. It might be the best I can do, but I'm not excited about it. How many actual 2-drops do I have? I have 3. Moving them around doesn't do anything. They're in alphabetical order by color. So 4 oil counters here, 3 there. No other oil counters. Oh, actually, well, this has 1 oil counter. What are my other rares? Why is my deck so weak? I guess I got a rare dual land, an unplayable rare, a decent rare that can't really build a deck around. This thing Maybe I should be trying to fit this into my deck. It is a source of artifacts, and it is another 2-drop, even though it's going to be hard to cast. I probably don't have enough proliferate for it, though. Like 1, 1.5, 3.5, that's not really enough. This is at a minimum a very good sideboard card if I'm playing against somebody who's making a lot of might tokens. There's a lot of 1-drops. Or has a lot of the Mirrodin equipment. Like if I'm likely to be able to just play it and get 2 of their rebels. That's pretty appealing. Alright, do we have any mythic rares? No. Do we have any good uncommons? I'm not playing Thrumming Bird. I guess I could be getting more proliferate if I want it. Am I doing enough with the proliferate? Not really. Is there any chance that I would be poisoning my opponent out? Not really. I kind of feel like in this deck I should probably just play Ribskiff just for another artifact, which is kind of sad. I could play like 16 lands, 2 colors, 2 Dune Movers. Could play Charge of the Mites. This card is really bad if you're not trying to poison people out. I could play a Flensing Raptor with the 2 Dune Movers, just have some more flyers. I don't really need more 3-drops. And I really want as many of my cards as possible to be the artifacts if I'm playing all these Eye of Malkators. I could play Draw Skull Bomb just for an artifact that cycles. What if we did this and this? With 2 Dune Movers in my deck, I'm going to only play 16 lands. So one of them would be this land, and then I'd be looking for 1 more card. I don't think the scrying from the Glistener Seer is going to be all that valuable when I've got so much scrying from the Eye of Malkator. Could maybe just be the Thrumming Bird to make sure that my immobilizers are really good. Could be the Filigree Silex. Or just an off-color Spellbomb. This card doesn't do anything, right? You may reveal a mirror card. I've never seen this card do anything. I guess the other cards are the other mirror, like the Mirror Custodian and the Kinsmith. Is there anything else I could get? Show me all my mirrors, please. I believe that is my only mirror. I guess probably it's just a Thrumming Bird. Well, this is a possible deck. This is not a very exciting deck, though. Although I'm not sure I'm going to be able to construct a deck without using the blue cards. What if I try to use... I try to just be white-black toxic? I think it's going to be pretty bad. But let's see. Guess I can play Testament Bearer. Well, that was 12 cards I don't hate. It's a pretty low bar, though. I could maybe play this thing. And then I would have some Dune Movers in my deck. I don't hate that card in White Black Toxic. Is there any green toxic things I could splash for? No. You know what I should do? I should just splash Incubation Sac in that blue-white deck. I didn't think of that. That seems like a really... For some reason, I didn't look for green artifacts. That seems like a really good card to splash. And I've got the Razor Verge Sticket. Yeah, this deck does not seem very powerful either. So let's go back to the blue-white deck. I think if I'm splashing the Incubation Sac, it means I'm not playing the Thrumming Bird. Probably also not going to play the sack land. The blue sack land, I'll just play Razor Verge Thicket and Terramorphic Expanse. So I'm looking to get to 26, right? And I'll probably play a Forest to go with my 2 Dune Movers and my Terramorphic Expanse. It'll be like 8 blue and 5 plains. So this gives me 6 white for my early plays. Well, 6 white on turn 1. A little bit light, but I really just don't have that many white cards. All right, I think this is as good as my deck's gonna be. Pretty disappointing pool, but I guess my deck is capable of curving out and being fairly, having powerful draws at least. So maybe I can get lucky. There just really isn't enough red stuff to do anything with it. What if I was red-green? I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9... 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I guess I could splash like a Chimera. That doesn't seem very good. Let's just play this. I'm up against Croakies. Seems like a perfectly fine hand. I'll get an island. And I think I'll get a second island with the Dune Mover. And I'll play Eye of Malcator. Hopefully we're off to the races from there. I'm getting a second island because I have way more double blue cards than my single green card. The thing I really don't like about this deck is the problem with the Eye of Malcator, that just once you fall behind, very few of your cards help you play defense. I think Croaky's is trying to time me out. It would be so nice if Arena had some indication of what was going on in this point, so I don't feel like I'm just disconnected. I guess he just let his clock run down to keep. Maybe he's disconnected. I guess he was disconnected. Okay. Weird start to the day. I do not like being on the draw with my Eye of Malcator deck. Opponent mulled. Opponent's a red-green deck. They're fortunate to be able to be a red-green deck. Guess I'm going and getting a forest with this.
We have the hide if you're not with me. You're with Phyrexia.
I guess the good news here is that my Eye of Malcator is not going to be a creature. On their turn, so they can't kill it.
I'll never forget the home we lost.
Bad news is it gets a ton of loyalty. Seems like a spot where they could very easily just have a combat trick. I'm still just going to attack, though. I'm not going to play the incubation sac this turn. I'm going to save it for the trigger on the Eye of Malcator, potentially next turn. Argenta Masticore. Yeah, this is looking kind of ugly.
That's enough.
All right, they just had a land to discard. That at least is good for me. If they had had a 4-mana card to discard, it would have been very grim. So the incubation sac really doesn't do anything because they're just going to be pitching lands to get rid of the tokens. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with experimental augury, see if I can find maybe another Eye of Malcator. No, I'm not going to be able to cast the sack now. If I don't find something like an Eye of Malcator, I'm just going to play the Unctus. We'll be tapping the Argentum Masticore this turn. I'm finally going to kill this Koth. I think I am. I'm actually going to go ahead and play this too. There's enough permanents in play now for them to be able to pick something off with the discard. This has been kind of a crazy game. Now that there's no longer a Koth giving them a free mountain every turn, the incubation sack's a little bit more threatening. I just realized incubation sac allows me to turn on the Eye of Malcators. No, it doesn't, because it's sorcery speed. It doesn't allow me to turn them on my opponent's turn, sadly. I'm going to activate it now, just because it gives me an additional point with the Mandible Justiciar. I don't even need to tap the Masticore this turn if I don't want to. Oh, that's kind of annoying. I think I'm going to, though. That was a really good draw. I thought I was going to have to go a turn without being able to tap with the Eye of Malcator, because I do think I needed to Mesmerizing Dose that Ravager. It's been a crazy game. I guess I won't let them chump. I wouldn't be jumping with this, so it's kind of a free attack. All right, so now they're giving up on the Masticore. Those both seem pretty good. I needed an artifact to kill them, which I had, but they didn't wait around to see it. So they're like a red-green deck. They do have that Koth. They have Argentum Masticore, Rebel Salvo, Molten Rebuke. I don't have a Aspirant's Ascent, which would actually maybe be good against their deck. Is Serum Snare a card I want? They did have a fight spell. Serum Snare is pretty good against that. I think realistically I'm just not going to sideboard very much because I don't have very many cards I could sideboard. I guess the one question is Filigree Silex good? I think the answer to that is no. Their curve was pretty high. All right, let's just leave it the way it is. I'm now in the unhappy position, though, of being in a post-sideboard game versus a red-green deck as like the blue artifacts deck, and they just have so many cards they can board in. You know, all their Carnivorous Canopies, Shrapnel Slinger. Hopefully they don't have the Red Sun's Twilight. That card would probably be impossible for my deck to beat. Would block. Don't want either of these. I don't think so. That guy again. Now I'm behind, so I think I can't just play this and tap the Masticore immediately. I'm not sure if I could respond by tapping if they pitch something at the immobilizer. Is this a reflexive trigger on the Masticore? Ooh, they discarded a land, so they didn't get a permanent at least. That's pretty nice. I think I want to land for next turn. Guess I'm going with that. With the idea that I'm going to somehow be playing Serum Snare next turn too. Alright. If they're double blocking, I'm kind of happy about that. You don't really want to be trading off resources like that when there's a Masticore in play on your side, because you're just going to run out of stuff. So this, I actually do get to respond to this. This is what's called a reflexive trigger. And I'm doing that because I wanted to proliferate pretty badly. I think I'm going to be greedy and play Curiosity here, hoping to find a land to be able to play the Justiciar. Okay, that worked out great. I don't think I need to ossify the Argentum Masticore. I think it's kind of trapped them in a losing position already. Wow, that was a crazy match. I had fun. I beat an Argentum Masticore twice with Tamiyo's Immobilizer. Nice. I would like to be on the play. Good hand. I'm going to have faith in my deck that I want to sequence and play my artifacts out rather than saving them to trigger the Malcator. I do have the Scry too, and I've got the two artifacts already behind me. I guess I can force them to trade with the Branch Blight Stalker. I'm up for that. I want to draw a land. Don't really want to draw a second Plains. If that had been an island, I might have kept it, because an island at least allows me to cast the double blue cards in my deck. There's like a tiny danger that if I play this Eye of Malcator next turn and I don't see a fourth land, I might not be able to play the Tamiyo's Immobilizer the turn after. Yeah, I'll run my Eye of Malcator into, they're gonna double block for sure here. Do I want to draw a Serum Snare? I don't think so. I think I'd rather just draw any artifact. I'll take it, I guess. It's a little bit tempting to block there, just because if I block, I'd know they were spending their mana on making their guy be able to attack. But I'm not too worried about getting one poison. I do like being able to deal a point of damage in the air every turn. And this turn, I'm going to definitely block with Indoctrination Attendant if they attack. Basilica Shepherd, alright. This is probably a matchup where Filigree Silex could be good. But over what? Maybe the Skitterfang? The lifelink doesn't really matter. The Skitterfang, though, just giving evasion is pretty good. I think I like the sack. The incubation sack, that is. Maybe over Ribskiff. Ribskiff is not an all-star. Where's my Eye of Malcator at? Oh, there it is. I don't think it makes much sense to play the Dune Mover there. It's not going to be able to attack into the Incisor Glider. And I don't need to go find a land. Let's see how cowardly they are. Will they let me bluff attack them? No. It's a pretty good block. There aren't that many cards I could realistically have there. Don't need any more E-lands. This doesn't look very good for me. I think I still need to attack, though. Like, if you don't attack with the Eye of Malcator, you have a card that doesn't do anything. That's the big problem with it. Part where sometimes it doesn't do anything. If their hand is nothing, this game it's maybe still possible to win. No, this game's not possible to win. Definitely don't want Thrumming Bird in my deck if they have Incisor Glider. Do I maybe want Ripskiff against the what's this called? What's this card called? Tyrannax Atrocity. Maybe. I didn't see very many Might cards in game 2. Also on the play, the Ribskiff's a little bit better. It's just a more proactive card. Seems fine. I don't think I've seen any removal that interacts with Unctus. I'm going to take this opportunity to get at planes. I'm assuming I'm going to be able to loot away this excess island at some point. I could do it right now, right? I don't think I want to spend 2 life on that, though. I'm going to keep the Dune Mover flying this turn. Get rid of this island. This would be so much easier if they just didn't have any creatures that could block. Oh no, I think they're doing something to my Unctus. Yeah, I didn't enjoy that. Maybe that was a bad trade on my part. I don't know. I got to deal damage, which was the appealing part of it. I am kind of empty-handed, and I do have a lot of Eye of Malcators in my deck, which are not really the best top decks at this point. That Sack, on the other hand, is a pretty nice top deck. I'm trading here because it kind of makes the escaped experiment more threatening if there are fewer blockers. Like if I can get them down to only 2 blockers, then I can Mesmerizing Dose 1 and attack with the experiment. And I think I'm going to do the same thing again. Try to run them out of blockers. Next turn I'm probably going to have to play Mesmerizing Dose because I'm going to want to proliferate onto the Sack. I really hope they don't have a way to bounce that back to their hand. I didn't want to attack that turn because it would have let the Mites attack freely. Need my opponent to stop doing things. You're just going to have to accept that the mites are going to be able to attack. This cleans the board up. Excuse me, so hopefully all my 2/1s can get to attack next turn, backed up with the experiment. Doesn't completely clean the board up, but I'm still just going to attack with everything, I think. If they have a combat trick here, it's going to work on defense as well. So, sad times for me. Is that good enough? I think I might need to just dig for ossification. I don't think that's good enough. If I draw ossification, I can make a guy with the sack and ossify something. Maybe get somewhere. Of course, now they can play the viral spawning out of their graveyard. Maybe I could draw an immobilizer. Would that do anything? Certainly an island isn't going to do anything. Ugh. I was really hoping I was trading with a creature there. I have 8 poison. I think the ossification was too late. I'm gonna go to 9 poison when they put the hover glades on there. Yeah, I needed that last turn. Or I needed them to not have Titanic growth. Reasonable hand. For a non-Eye of Malcator hand. Maybe I blew that game when I let my Skitterfang trade. Maybe I should have just gone with flying. I would have dealt... I think I would have dealt 2 more damage, maybe. And in the end I was just 2 damage short. At the time, it seemed like trading with their toxic creature was fine because I wasn't corrupted yet, and it seemed like maybe I was going to be able to get through the game in a way where the viral spawning never came back. Of course, that didn't wind up happening. Gonna see the third color we are. It's a race. I think it's a race I'm gonna win. Oh, we'll see. Oh, they're going to Ruthless Predation too. So maybe not. Maybe not going to be a winner for me. No. So if they attack with everything, should I crew and block the block with the Strider, or just block with my 2 ground guys? Or with my 2 small guys? I think I should just block with my 2 small guys. That way next turn I'll be able to proliferate onto the Strider and get a second free activation on it. They're about to get to corrupted, which there wasn't really anything I could do about that. I could have, I suppose, mesmerizing dosed the raptor, but they still would have been able to get to corrupted with the blight belly. Rat proliferating. What Serum Snare? I could have Serum Snare plus Chrome Prowler in one turn. That seems reasonable. So now I can kill them next turn with 6 power flying and the Chrome Prowler to get the blocker out of the way if nothing bad happens here. Okay, who's being ossified? I guess I still have lethal because of the Serum Snare, but I'm going to at least represent that I might block with the Meldweb Strider. I suppose they could annihilate and glare it, but I hope they don't. I think if they're willing to attack, I'm not actually willing to block, but this is kind of a bluff. So really my only sideboard decision is, do I want Rib Skiff or do I want Filigree Silex? Got a lot of 2-mana permanents. But they also had the 4/4. I think I'm just going to go with Rib Skiff. I think it's the stronger card in my deck. I'm going to keep this hand. Obviously, it could go bad if I never find a land or if I don't find plains. I have 3 draw steps to hit my 3rd land for Eye of Malcator, which I think makes it good enough to keep. Alright. Didn't have the ideal start because I didn't find the plains, so this Swooping Lookout's probably going to be pretty useless this game. But at least they didn't have a 2-drop. They didn't even have a 3-drop, so feeling pretty good about this now. I think I would like to find a plains, so next turn I can go Rib Skiff. I definitely want lands over all those cards. The Immobilizer's great and all, but it's no 4th land. I think I'm going to be greedy and I'm going to play Distorted Curiosity and just hope that I hit a plains. The non-greedy play is Mesmerizing Dose on the Head Cleaver and just play things out slower. I guess my hand's so strong, there's no reason I need to make a greedy play when they've started so slowly. That is too bad. I'm going to block here just because it's forcing them to spend their mana. Like, I know they have a 4-drop that they could be replaying. Okay. That's not really that scary, to be honest. They're still taking 2 damage. This is just Rib Skiff, or can I do better? I think it's just Rib Skiff. I'm very far ahead on tempo now, even if I'm kind of down on cards, based on the way some of these interactions have gone through. Next turn, though, I'm going to be able to play Chrome Prowler, tap something, and crew the Rib Skiff with it, which is going to probably be a good chunk of damage. Huh. They're not even interested in blocking. Weird. Not sure I played the right cards there. It might have been better just to go Silver Fang. Attack. Why did they spend their mana the way they did? I think I should have gone Silver Fang. I guess if I, or Skitter Fang. I guess if I only play the Skitter Fang, I can't crew the Rib Skiff. So maybe what I did was for the best. It's awkward that I didn't give myself an opportunity to play Serum Snare. I was really expecting them to have a card like Complete Devotion or some sort of a combat trick there to block with the Dune Mover. I was not expecting Death Sun's Twilight for 1. All right. Easy enough. On the play, I got 2 shots at my 3rd land. This hand is really strong if I hit my 3rd land, just because it's going to be Eye of Malcator into Unctus. Or maybe Eye of Malcator into Skitterfang into Unctus, depending on what happens. Oh no. One more shot. No. It would still be fine if it happens next turn. Okay, it's still fine. Definitely want the 4th land. Do I want the Expanse? I think that's fine. Just remember, I'm going to be playing another Eye of Malcator next turn. And if I ever want to be in a spot where I'm going to be playing 2 spells in a turn... No, I screwed up though. Why didn't I get the Expanse this turn? I don't think Rib Skiff's ever going to do anything. Experimental Augury, would that ever do anything? I don't think so. I wanted to sandbag the Immobilizer because the Immobilizer means that I can potentially kill him as a surprise. If I don't die here. I don't think I can win. We need 4 blockers. No. I think it was right what I did with not playing the Immobilizer, although it would have worked out a lot better if I had played the Immobilizer, attacked for 8, put them to 8, and then been able to immobilize the Plague Nurse on their turn. The only reason it worked out that way, though, is because they had Ruthless Predation. I think had they not had Ruthless Predation, or had I found something off of the loots from the Unk Detect, or whatever the name of that thing is, my line would have been better. I don't have any Eye of Malcator, so my hand's not going to hit that hard. But I do at least have a very good curve. I'm going to go ahead and play this. I'm obviously not going to search for a land. But if I play the Skitterfang next turn, this will deal some damage. Also, it wouldn't be that bad if it winds up trading with the Sinew Dancer. Are they predationing me this start? Predation the Swooping Lookout? I want to trade with the Sinew Dancer. I think I'm willing to trade with it now that I drew the Eye of Malcator. Go for some artifacts. Surgical Skull Bomb. Just what the doctor ordered. If they play a 4-drop this turn, I'm just going to Skull Bomb it. Play a 3-drop. It's a 3-drop I don't really care about. Guess they're getting lifelink. That's kind of annoying. Do I care about lifelink? I don't think so. I think I'm just going to save these for flying. Even though it's kind of hard to see how the game plays out in a way that I'm going to use all the counters, I just don't think my life total really is going to matter this game. All right, hopefully I can manage to kill them next turn with Prowler plus a Flying Eye of Malcator. I'll be very sad if I don't pull this one out. Guess I'll just play the Immobilizer. I think this is one of those, do I want to worry about what I'm revealing to them kind of situations. Games are so much easier when I play Eye of Malcator on turn 3 on the play. I'm going to stick with having the Silex in my deck. I put the Silex in because of the venerated Rot Priest. That seems like a card that I really want to be able to get off the board. And obviously we also saw the Sinew Dancer, so they have multiple 1-drops. And their deck made some number of mites. This is a turn 3 Eye of Malcator. Sadly, there's no 2-drop. I'm still going to keep it, but On the draw, this could obviously go wrong if they have a fast start. So far, we're not sensing a fast start. That's a good 2-drop, but it's not a toxic 2-drop, so... This is not that scary. I'm just trying to decide, do I want to play the incubation sac this turn? So I have the option of going Eye of Malcator into turn 4, activate the sac. I think that's fine. I also, on turn 3, if I want to, I can just play Mesmerizing Dose instead of playing an Eye of Malcator if they played something really scary. I don't think that's scary enough. It's also dangerous just starting the game out by playing Mesmerizing Doses against white, because obviously they can just play their Indoctrination Steward. I'm taking quite a lot of damage. And there's the Indoctrination Steward I was worried about. I think I'm just going to be too slow this game. I have some okay stuff going on, but it's just too slow. Yeah. Maybe with the Mandible Justiciar we can get something going on. How much easier would this game have been if I had the Justiciar on turn 2? I'm dead. Yeah, that was just Eye of Malcator on the draw not being very good. Kind of frustrating, but not that surprising with the pool I opened. I think I did the best I could. 3-2, including a freebie win. Well, hope you enjoyed the video and my brief foray into Phyrexia Sealed. Certainly not a great sealed deck format. I'll see you next time.